Okay, Tanisha, so the last time we met, you within the session just kind of told me a little bit about how you felt about your parents' concern over your electronics. And initially, you said wasn't something you were really worried about, but it seems like the more we talked, you kind of shared with me that you did have some concerns. And so why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I realized that like my grades have gone down. I used to be like an A and B student, but now I'm like a lower B, C student, and I think that it's probably because of the electronics and it's making a change, and I just think that I don't really like to hear it from my parents.
Okay, well, that's fair. And I appreciate you, just being as candid and honest about it as you can. That's probably not easy for you to do. And so what you're basically saying is you realize there may be some things that you need to do differently. You just probably don't really want to have to go into that detail with your parents. Okay. Well, we can, talk a little bit more about that. And I actually have some tools. If it's okay with you, do you mind if I maybe show you a couple of tools to kind of figure out where you are on making this decision and what to do next?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have what we call rulers, okay? And what we'll do with those rulers is kind of determine kind of where you are in making this change and, maybe think about what to do next, okay? So the first one we'll start with is we call an importance ruler, okay? And so as you can see from the visual there, it's a kind of like a scale, like a regular ruler. And what we're going to do is ask you to think about on a scale from 0 to 10 how important this is to you. So if 0 was, this is not at all important, this is not something that I'm really too worried about, right? All the way to 10, 10 being, I really, really think that this is super important, this is something that I really want to change. So where do you think you are on
Like about a 7.
that? Okay, so you think it's a 7. So tell me, why is it a 7 and say not like a 2 or a 3?
Because like I've seen the changes in my grades, and I do want to do well in school. I want to be able to have fun. Like I want to be able to enjoy school like I used to. So I think.
Okay. So you feel like grades are important to you,
Mhm.
and that while you like electronics, you also like to be a good student, and there are things that, just being a good student, you just want to focus on doing a better job at that, because that's something that has been important to you. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I think that that's good that you have a good idea of kind of how you want to handle this and how important it is to you. All right. So you ready to take the next step?
Mhm.
All right. So the next one, if you flip that over there, it is what we call a confidence ruler. Okay. So it's kind of similar to the one we just did. It's a scale of 1 to 10, but this is more about how confident are you that you can actually do this? Because this is a pretty big deal, and it's gonna, may not be easy. So, your honest assessment from 0 to 10, with 10, 0 being, I'm not real confident I can do this. I'm not sure, right? And 10 is like, oh yeah, I can really do this. There's no problem, right? So where do you think you are on that scale?
Um. Again, I think I'd be like about a 7.
Okay, a 7. All right, so I will ask you again, why a 7 and not, like a 3 or 4?
Because I know that it's gonna be hard, but I think that it matters enough to me that I can do it. Cause I want to change. So I think that if I really try, then I can do it.
Okay, well that's really great, Tanisha. It sounds like you are committed to making this change, and it sounds like you decided that this is something that you want to move forward with, and that's really great. That's gonna be a really important part of you, sticking with it and doing what you need to do. So I definitely commend you on that. I think, what maybe we can do next, if it's okay with you, is I can maybe show you some strategies or some things that maybe you can consider doing that have worked for some of the other clients that I've worked with. Is that okay with you?
Mhm.
Okay, great.